Good afternoon, Packfillers. It is Sunday, June 28th, which means we have reached the most beautifully chaotic weekend in the cycling calendar. That's right, National Championships. They tell you that the week before the Tour de France is the most meticulously planned period in a professional cyclist's life. A time for altitude tents, marginal aerodynamic gains, and wrapping yourself in bubble wrap to avoid any sudden movements. But this week, the biggest news wasn't made in the wind tunnel. It was made by a microscopic infection, a Belgian courtroom, and a guy from Colorado treating a sweltering heat wave in West Virginia like his own personal barbecue. Welcome to the Packfiller Perspective. This is the one weekend a year where World Tour teammates become mortal enemies and domestic continental riders suddenly race like they've been possessed by the ghost of Eddie Merckx. The prize? A right to wear your national flag on your jersey for an entire year. Sounds majestic, but in reality, winning your national championships is right before the Tour de France is a logistical nightmare. Riders cross the finish line and immediately apparel sponsors back in Italy or Switzerland have to enter a state of panic-induced overtime, printing new aero suits, painting custom helmets, and matching custom bar tape just so the rider can look completely unaerodynamic on the start line in Barcelona next week. And let's be honest, half the time, the team designers ruin the jersey. They give the rider a tiny little flag band around the chest, looks like a postage stamp. If I win a national championships, I want full head-to-toe aggressive branding. I want my bib shorts to scream patriotism. Down here in the amateur ranks, we just buy the Italian national champion jersey online and hope nobody asks to see our passport at the coffee shop. We start with the U.S. National Road Race Championships in Charleston, West Virginia. The official weather forecast was sweltering, which meteorologists code for you will ride your bicycle inside a functioning air fryer. Quinn Simmons went into the day outnumbered with heavy domestic squads, but he decided the tactics are for people who don't want to suffer. With 29 kilometers to go, he attacked on the Wirtz climb, finished entirely solo, and crossed the line more than 2 minutes clear of the chase group. 2 minutes. In a modern pro race, 2 minutes isn't a gap, it is a different time zone. He won his third U.S. road race title, proving once again that you can make a bike race miserable enough. Quinn Simmons simply mutates into a heat-seeking missile. Meanwhile, Kate Courtney won the women's elite road race in what she called her year of official experimentation, leaving us all wondering if mountain bikers are just going to slowly take over the tarmac until road-specific racers are entirely extinct. But the biggest shock wave of the week came from Europe. Wout van Aert will not start the Tour de France. He is officially pulled out due to a severe infection, stating that health comes first. Do you know how sick Wout van Aert has to be to voluntarily miss the Tour? This is a man who routinely rides through Flemish blizzards with a broken collarbone. If Wout says he's too sick to ride, I assume his immune system is currently fighting a literal Victorian plague. Beast Melissa Bike now frantically is rearranging their roster while Mathieu van der Poel is probably sitting at home staring at a wall, realizing he has to find a new nemesis to glare at for 3 weeks in July. Speaking of the Tour de France rosters, Red Bull-Bora-Hansgrohe has just announced their squad, confirming a dual leadership approach around Florian Lipowitz and Remco Evenepoel. Remco Evenepoel, sharing leadership. Remco literally gave an interview this week saying, and I quote, "Every leader for themselves." That's not dual leadership strategy, that is the plot of the Hunger Games. Putting Remco in a co-leadership role is like putting a great white shark and a grizzly bear in a kiddie pool and telling them to share the space. By stage 4, they're going to be attacking each other on the descents while Tadej Pogačar just rides behind them eating popcorn. Finally tonight, it's time to honor our ghosts of our mechanical past. Welcome to the Obsolete Tech Tribute. Today, we bow our heads to the down tube friction shifters. For the younger viewers, there was a time before wireless electronic shifting. Hell, there was a time before shifting on the brake levers. If you wanted to change your gears, you had to take your hand entirely off the handlebars, reach downward towards your front wheel, pull a tiny metal lever. It wasn't indexed, it didn't click. You just had to pull the lever and listen to the chain grinding against the cassette until you found the magical microscopic sweet spot where it didn't sound like a blender full of bolts. If you shifted during a sprint, it meant you were willing to risk your life. You had to anticipate the gradient, reach down, adjust the tension entirely by feel. It built character. It built core strength, and it occasionally resulted in terrifying high-speed wobbles when you hit a pothole with only one hand on the bars. Oh, the good old days. That does it for this week's episode. I'd love to sit here and debate the aerodynamic drag of Quinn Simmons' facial hair, but the reality of the bunker is calling. I have a wall that still needs to come down to make room for our new espresso bar. That's right. And Chapter 5 of Don't Buy the Putter is currently staring at me from the laptop, aggressively demanding to be ridden. The hustle doesn't stop there just because the Peloton is resting. Hey everybody, ride safe, use the Dutch reach, and don't forget to upload. Good night.